Hi, this is Master Duelist here. Today I'm going over a Phantom Knight deck with you guys in Master Duel. Before we get started, I just want to let you know, and I let everyone know this at the beginning of all of my videos, that you may hear background noise. I don't have the most perfect mic or the most perfect setup. I am working on it. I apologize in advance. In general, Phantom Knights are a pretty strong deck. Um, they've been out for a long time in the TCG. They look very different in the TCG. If you were to look up a deck profile of 2022 Phantom Knights, you would see that they play an engine called Adventurer, which is not even in Master Duel, and they also play the Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer, which is not in Master Duel at this time. This is how Phantom Knights was played before the Destiny Hero Fusion came out. So I'll go ahead and explain every card, why I have it in here, and tell you some other choices, and that'll be it. So first off, 3 Max C. You need Max C in this deck because sometimes you are going to be missing maybe 1 or 2 pieces, and Max C can help you get what you needed. Next is 3 Tour Guide. Tour Guide is very vulnerable to Ash Blossom, Max C, even Infinite Impermanence. I don't play Impermanence in this deck because it conflicts with one of their trap cards, but Tour Guide is still good. If it goes off, you're golden. You're going to be able to do a huge combo with it. So I think 3 is necessary. Some people may not want to play 3, especially considering that Tour Guide is an ultra rare in Master Duel, so it's hard to get, and it's not even in a secret pack. It's just in the Master Pack. So you probably will never pull it. You actually have to craft 3 of it, just like you have to craft 3 Maxi. Um, there is one card you can play that can kind of replace Tour Guide. It's Junk Forward. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. It's a level 3, but it doesn't give you 2 cards like Tour Guide does to make a Cherubini immediately. But if you do want to play that, you do want to play the Junk Forward, make sure that you play Reinforcement of the Army. You can play Rhoda in this deck to add the Phantom Knights. I don't have it in here right now. I'll go ahead and just, in case you don't know what that is, Reinforcement of the Army lets you add 1 level 4 or lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand. I don't play it right now in the deck because I don't know if it's necessary. Maybe in the future I might cut Tour Guide down to 2 to play 1 Rhoda, but for now it's not in the main deck. Uh, just know that it is not bad to play this at 1. It's limited for a reason. Next we have Graph and Seer, the only 2 Burning Abyss monsters in the deck. Graph is here um, pretty much, so when you summon Tour Guide, you bring out Graph, and then you link them off for Cherubini, and then Cherubini sends a Seer to the graveyard, and then Seer, or no, I'm sorry, Tour Guide summons the okay, I apologize, I was getting the combo mixed up there. Tour Guide summons Graph, then you link them away for Cherubini, you bring out Seer, and then if you have nothing else, you can use the Seer and the Cherubini, link them away for Rusty, which is this guy down here. He's a link 3, and then Seer will bring back your Cherubini, and then Cherubini, either on the first summon or on the second summon, can send you a level 3 monster to the grave. All the Phantom Knights are level 3, so that's great. And it's a cost, so they cannot negate your Cherubini's effect to send a level 3 to the deck, or from the deck to the graveyard. Um, Next are the Phantom Knight monsters. I played 2 Ancient Cloak. He lets you banish him. All the Phantom Knight monsters and cards like to banish from the graveyard to do effects. Ancient Cloak lets you banish him from the graveyard to add a Phantom Knight's card from your deck to your hand. You can only do these effects once per turn. He also has an interesting effect on the field where if he's in attack position, you can put him in defense and give a dark monster 800 attack and defense until the end of your opponent's turn. He's good as a 2 of. Don't play 3 of it. You can even consider playing only 1. Next is Silent Boots. Basically, she lets you banish from the grave to add a spell or trap, a Phantom Knight spell or trap, and if you control a Phantom Knight monster, you can special summon her from your hand, even if you have another version of her. I only have 2 in here right now. Many builds do play 3. It's not wrong to play 3. Some people would say you should play 3 over 2. I only play 2 right now. The last Phantom Knight monster, or not, this is not the last one. Ragged Gloves, I was trying to remember its name. Ragged Gloves, you play 1 of it, you can banish it from the grave and send another Phantom Knight card from your deck to the grave. You can send the traps. And the trap cards, basically, you can banish them from the grave to special summon a Phantom Knight from your graveyard, but it gets banished when it leaves the field. You just need 1 of him. He's not the greatest, but he can be amazing even though you only play 1. You have next the Phantom Knights of Stained Greaves. When you have him in your hand and you special summon a Phantom Knight, you can special summon this guy from your hand and increase his level by 1. If you have this with the trap card right here, which this card basically lets you summon it the turn that you set it as long as you have no traps in your graveyard. And this comes out as a level 4. So if you have that and you have him on the field, you can make a rank 4. I don't play any rank 4s besides the Evil Swarm Nightmare, but you can do that. And then you can banish him from the grave to special a Phantom Knight's monster from your hand. He's mainly used for combos. You don't want to play more than 1. The best Phantom Knight monster, in my opinion, is Torn Scales. You can discard a card from your hand and send a Phantom Knight's card from your deck to the graveyard, which is the same thing that Gloves does, except you don't have to banish it from the grave. And then, if he's in the graveyard and you banish a Phantom Knight card while he's in the grave, you can special summon Torn Scales out from the graveyard, but he gets banished when he leaves the field. So, he can give you resources. He can also be a extender. Next, we have Ash Blossom, 3 of it. You need this card. There's so much stuff that adds and all the pot cards. You need to play 3. 2 Danger Jackalope, and then 1 Danger, I don't know how to say this thing's name. I just call it the Danger Snake. Jackalope and the Snake, when they're in your hand, you can reveal them. Then your opponent chooses 1 card from your hand to randomly discard. And then if they discard the Jackalope, then Jackalope gets to special summon a danger monster from your deck except himself, which you summon the Snake. If they don't discard your Jackalope, you summon Jackalope to your field and you draw 1 card. So it's a level 3 extender. The Snake, if it gets discarded, basically summons itself to the field. So it's going to come out regardless. You're either going to summon it and you're not going to get 1 draw, or you're going to summon it, or you're going to draw it, and you're either going to get a draw or you're not going to get a draw, basically. And then for the last 2 monsters, we have Psychic Welder and Psychic Tracker. These are just level 3 extenders. Basically, if you have a level 3 monster on the field, you can special summon them from your hand. Their other effects are not relevant. They matter for synchro monsters. For the spell cards, we have 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. There's a bunch of back row decks in the game. I feel like you have to play at least this card in your deck, maybe even Lightning Storms. Emergency Teleport lets you summon the 2 Psychic level 3 extenders from your deck. It's just another way to get an extender. Called by the Grave is to help stop Maxi, Ash Blossom, The same for Crossout Designator. You really don't like Max C. This deck, when you're going to go for your full combo, you're going to special summon a lot, so you really don't want Crossout Designator to... You just don't... well, you want Crossout Designator so that you can stop the Max C. You're not always going to draw it. You can play 3 of it, but I feel like if you play 3 of it, you're going to draw like too many of, Called by the Grave and Crossed Out, and then you're just going to brick. 3 Forbidden Droplet. This card lets you negate monster effects, basically. That's the gist of it, what it does. You can negate multiple monster effects if you send multiple cards. This card has saved me in many duels with this deck, so I would play 3 of it, don't play 2. Even though you can, and I know Droplet is another ultra rare, so if you don't have 3, you can get away with 2. Another thing about Crossout Designator is that it's not in a set either, so this is a really difficult card to get for some people. So if you don't have it, you don't have to play it, but sometimes you're going to wish you had this for Max C. Phantom Knight Wing, when this card is on the field and you activate it, it just gives a monster 500 attack, and then it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects the first time that it would be. But like I said earlier, you play this mainly so you can banish it from the grave to summon a Phantom Knight from your grave. This one is better on the field. It's basically a monster negate. You target a monster and negate its effects, and then it can't attack. You can also, banish it to summon a Phantom Knight. That's the gist of the main deck. The extra deck, we have Utopic Future and Utopic Draco Future. You can make this guy with 2 XZ monsters with the same rank, as long as they're not number monsters, and then you can overlay this guy on top of him, and he's basically a monster negate. He also can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and when he negates a monster effect, he can take that card if it's on the field. You can take control of that monster. It has to be a monster. You can't take spell and traps. He's really good, though. 2 Leviair, you need this for your combo. There's a specific combo. I might show it off in another video that you have to do. You can probably find it on YouTube as well, honestly. There's a specific combo where you need 2 of this, so you definitely need to play 2. Don't play 1. Sometimes you want 3 of it. 2 Break Sword, you don't absolutely need 2 of it, but there are times when you will consider summoning 2 of it, so I just play 2 because you want to summon it. Basically, he lets you target a card you control, 1 card your opponent controls, and destroy them, and if he gets destroyed, you can summon 2 Phantom Knights from your grave at the same level and increase their level by 1. Evil Swarm Nightmare, you can make it basically with 2 level 4 Phantom Knights, and he's a defensive card that lets you, whenever your opponent special summons a monster, you can change that monster to face down, and that's not a once per turn effect. Now, really quick, you can play this guy over him, and if he gets a trap on him, he actually has a quick effect where you can attach 3 different types of materials and then apply the effects based on those materials. And if one of them is a trap, you can place a face-up card your opponent controls on top of the deck, which you can actually summon him with this. The reason why I'm not playing it is because I just don't think it's that good. You don't do it as much as you think you would, and he's also an ultra rare. And besides playing him in this deck, Redoer, for the most part, is not an amazing card. It's just a decent card, so I don't think he needs to be played. But you can play him over Nightmare. The biggest advantage is that if you pop your Break Sword and you summon 2 back and you want to summon a rank 4, Nightmare has 950 attack while Redoer has 2400. Downer Magician is just here to put on top of a rank 3 after it has attacked, and then summon Zeus on top of it. Zeus can wipe the board. We all know what Zeus does. Cherubini, when it's on the field, you can send a level 3 monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then it gains attack. It gains attack equal to the attack of that level 3. Monsters it points to cannot be destroyed by card effects, and if it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send one other card you control to the grave. Sometimes you want to make sure you set one card whenever you summon this in case they try to do something to destroy it. It just takes 2 level 3s. Nightmare Phoenix, you don't have to play it. I play it just because it's another Link 2 that does something um, at least semi-helpful. It can pop a spell with trap card. And then Unicorn, you need it for your Link 3 to go into bigger Link 4s. If you don't know what Unicorn does, you discard a card, shuffle a card on the field into the deck. Appaloosa, everyone knows what this does. It gets a hinder attack for each material, and then you can negate monster effects with it pretty much multiple times in one turn. And Access Code Talker is mainly used for OTKing. The Phantom Knights of Rusty, the last Phantom Knight Extra monster. To explain, during your main phase, you can send one Phantom Knight monster from your deck to the grave and then set one Phantom Knight spell with trap from your deck. So he gives you a Phantom Knight monster in the graveyard, and he lets you set Fog Blade, which is basically a negate. So he gives you a free resource and a negate. And then if a Dark XYZ monster is special summoned to a zone he points to, you can destroy one card on the field. The only downside to Rusty is he cannot be used as link material, but he only takes 2 dark monsters, so it's extremely easy to make him in this deck. He's at 1 in the TCG. He's not at 1. He's not limited in this game, but you don't really need more than 1 of him. He's just not something you need. You need to be summoning more than once. And that's Phantom Knights in general. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.